All
Oh,
right. All right. That was weird. That music started out like the New York Giants offense this year. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, I went to go hit the song. I'm like, what the hell's going on around here? It's like but no, a lot of welcome to the Sully Squad. We are in week 2 of the National Football League, so we're going to get into a lot of football. We also got the Phillies with a huge series against the Braves. What are the Phillies up? Four games in the loss column, I think,
in
Diego.
the loss column, 4 games.
All right,
They got
so
they got
four.
68. They got 68. The Marlins got 70, 72, and San Fran or whatever teams. The Diamondbacks got 72.
Yeah. If the season ended right now, the Phillies would play the Diamondbacks. So
Yeah,
uh, they got to hold on to that number 1 seed. And of course, the Eagles gutted out a win on Thursday night. I mean, hey, it wasn't pretty, but the bottom line is a W is a W. You know what I mean? The start of the season, you just got to rack up wins. You know what I'm saying? So, and they got it done. So, so we're gonna get into all that. I got I got my. Well, I'm missing a lot of my cast so far. I got my man, Mr. 6 for 6, Diego Bianchi. What's up, bro? How you doing?
what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Yeah, Sean should be on in a few minutes. He had to drop his daughter off, but he'll be on shortly. But
Sounds
yeah,
good.
man, I'm I, I'm doing good. As far as I'm doing good. I mean, we got the win. I got a comment here. John Lieb says just win. All right, John, got you there. And then my man Mike Loro says he's watching from Hershey. What's up, Mike? How you doing,
What's
man?
good,
Thanks
Mike?
for checking us out. And you could check Mike out on the Locker Room podcast on Edge of Philly on Thursday nights, and he also does the PM and the AM on Sunday morning. So make sure you check him out. But yeah, to John's point, you know what I mean. I mean, it is all about winning. I mean, I watched a lot of football yesterday, and I got to be honest with you, man. No, there weren't many teams that really impressed me. There was one though in particular, though, Diego, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. What were your thoughts on the overall league? In watching some games yesterday.
It seems that most of these games are decided by a possession or two. The league seems like it's pretty close talent wise overall, spread across the whole entire league. So to John Lee's point, just find a way to win these games. These early games, we had no preseason. So if you can win these early 3-4 games and just find a way to win, I mean, I expect them to start looking like the offense we see last year by week 4 or 5. I don't know what you think. What do you think?
No, I agree. I mean, the bottom line is that the passing game really hasn't, as far as the Eagles go, the passing game hasn't really clicked yet. But I think a lot of that is, like Minnesota, a lot of these teams are dropping a lot of guys back there. If you remember, the Eagles, I think, led the league in 20+ yard plays last year. And I think the game plan this year seems to be to take that away. And that's why and you know what I mean? So it's up to the Eagles to have the patience to kind of methodically move the ball down the field. That's what they kind of did. I mean, I got right here, DeAndre Swift broke out. I mean, he had 28 carries, 175 yards, 6.2 yards per carry average, you know what I mean? And then even Boston Scott had 5 carries, 40 yards, average 8 yards a carry. So, that's what, 33 carries, 215 yards from between two guys. You know what I mean? I mean, hey, that's that's doing what you need to do to win, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's really what it's all about. And we got to remember, Brian Johnson is a brand new play caller in this league. So if I think he should try to lean on the run a little bit as he figures out his play calling in the passing game and stuff. But early on, we're 2-0. There's not. It's hard to say they had a tough game on offense. They scored 34 points. You know,
Right.
they put up a lot of points. Jalen Hurts has to be a little bit crisper in his passes. And yeah, AJ Brown's going to start catching balls. Goddard's going to start catching balls. These guys are too good not to. And I think Jalen's too good not to get better at passing to where he was last year. I think it's just getting the play calling right, and that's the major issue.
Yeah, and Rick Marcus with a comment here. He says Eagles by 6.5 here in Tampa. So I'm assuming he's down there in Tampa. Thanks for checking us out, Rick. You know, the bottom line is, I mean, Tampa's 2-0, so I guess technically next Monday night is a battle, of 2-0 teams. But I think Tampa's kind of a fraudulent 2-0. I mean, the Vikings aren't a bad team. I mean, that was a decent win for Tampa, but I think the Bears are a pretty bad football team right now from what they look like. So, while Tampa is 2-0, I fully expect the Eagles to win that game next week.
Yeah, I'm a little opposite on you with that. I think Tampa's better than we think. I wouldn't take them lightly. They got some vets over there with Evans and Godwin and Baker Mayfield. Say what you want about him, he's got a pretty good arm. He can get them guys the ball. So if they give him some time, I mean, I wouldn't take Tampa lightly. I wouldn't say they're a fraudulent 2-0. I think their players and the caliber players they have on the outside there, and their defense, which is still pretty good. I don't think they just got bad over the last couple of years. So I think they're a pretty decent team. Don't take them lightly. We got to be ready to play Monday night.
Well, I was going to say, I got a comment here. Eileen C says, hi, you two. Hi, Eileen. How you doing?
How you doing?
And to your point, you know what? Maybe I should have phrased it a little different, because I kind of do agree with you. I wouldn't say they're necessarily a fraudulent 2-0. I just mean that, like, and they do have talent. I just mean, like, I see Tampa winning anywhere from like 7 to like 8 games or something. You know what I mean? That's all I meant. Like, fraudulent's probably not the right word. They can come up, and you can't take them lightly, and they can come up and catch you. But I don't see them being like a real contender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me neither. I don't see them being a real contender. Tell you what, though, if Baker Mayfield's reading defensive signs like he was against Minnesota, maybe Baker Mayfield's onto something.
All right, so Mike Lauro says Tampa's going to be another real close game. Now, Diego, everybody out there should be really worried by this next comment, because this guy, John Lieb, says Tampa's no threat. So that tells me we're going to take an L.
Yeah, I would take Tampa in that game now.
Rick Marcus says weather will be in the mid-80s game time. Yeah, in Tampa. Gotcha. And then he says Philly will have more fans at Raymond James. Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of Philly fans down there. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to travel well down there.
Yeah, the Eagles fans always travel well. And that'll be that'll definitely be a big thing down there. So, but yeah, you know what? That's for next week. So let's kind of break down this Vikings game. Well, any big time concerns on this Vikings game as far as like I know I'm a little concerned with the middle of our defense again. I mean, I'm looking at some of these numbers here. You got, you knew Justin Jefferson was going to get his. He's 11 catches, 159, 14.5 yards per catch. Plus, he should have scored a touchdown, but he fumbled the ball out of the end zone. Jordan Addison had 3 catches, 72 yards, 24 average.
He got a bunch on that one catch though, on the bond curve coming through. But still, we're still giving up big plays. We can't stop the pass. Yeah. Don't you feel like our defense is it's been a trend so far, 2 games. We had a good first half, and the second half they kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I'm having flashbacks to the days that we couldn't cover the tight end because for the second week in a row, the tight end killed us. Now, TJ Hawkinson, 7 catches, 66 yards, 9.4 yards
2 touchdowns.
average, 2 touchdowns. You know, that takes me back to the days. Remember like the Andy Reid days where we had like Chris Gokong trying to cover the tight end and the tight end killed us. I mean, I remember
every game.
I remember that one Sunday night game against Dallas back in the day where Jason Witten caught the ball and his helmet fell off and he's running down the field. I mean, we never could cover the tight end, and I think we're really missing Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, and CJ Gardner-Johnson.
With that, I think that's where that rule came from, where if your helmet comes off, they stop the play immediately because Jason Witten was running down the field with no helmet on.
Yeah, you're right, and to bring up the passing game, you know, I'm talking about more about the defense here, but Mike Laura brings up a point about the passing game. Dallas Goedert hasn't really been catching anything over 3 yards. Yeah, he killed me because I had in a parlay, I thought for sure Dallas Goedert was going to break out. I think I took Goddard's over in receiving, and the over under was only like 39 yards, and he didn't even get it.
Well, they're trying to throw little screens to him, like get him in one-on-one coverage somewhere and get him up the field and throw him a pass.
Yeah, I don't get it. Or
the play calling's not good. That's where the play calling, in my opinion, is not good. Dallas Goedert was amazing last year. There's no way he just can't get up the field and can't beat one-on-one coverage anymore.
Yeah, and you know we were. I mean, I think you heard me and Tony talking about it at work today. Like, you know, I mean, I'm willing to give Brian Johnson. You know, obviously it's only been 2 games, so I'm not ready to like close the book on Brian Johnson yet, and I know you're not either.
Right.
But it is ironic, though, because the kid Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis looks really good and pretty advanced for such a raw talent. And, you know, Tony brought up the point saying, well, you know, hey, what does Shane Steichen have to do with that? Because,
well, I'll tell you what Shane Steichen did this week. He started Gardner Minshew in that game. Gardner Minshew was 17 for 23.
No, Richardson got hurt. Richardson got a concussion.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. Richard.
So he got knocked out of the game. He came back.
Richardson scored. Richardson had 2 rushing touchdowns. His second rushing touchdown, he banged his head. That's why he had to leave the game.
Did he come back?
Richardson looked good. Yeah, he looked good. He looks a lot better than C.J. Stroud does. C.J. Stroud doesn't look that great to me so far. Although that Nico Collins had a good what do you call it? A good game fantasy wise. Mike Lauro got boned on Goddard too. He said he took the receptions on Thursday.
What was the over under?
I don't know. I didn't even look, honestly. I liked the yards, so I didn't even look. But yeah, I mean, you know, so but anyway, to your point, like, you know, it's like looking at all these passing yards we gave up. I mean, Kirk Cousins threw for 374 yards. Or I'm sorry, 346 yards. The run defense has been great yet, but the secondary has me a little concerned. Definitely.
Avonte Maddox out. That's concerning because if Goodrich is our slot corner, we're going to get eaten by the tight end and whoever the slot receiver is. Goodrich is not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think maybe they try Bradbury in the slot
and keep Job on the outside?
Maybe.
It depends. I don't know if Bradbury can play the inside. That's what I'm saying. Not every corner is made for the inside. Avonte Maddox, like, he's not the best slot corner, but he's made for that position.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there's a guy out there they could pick up, like the guy that used to play for Denver. I was reading something.
Chris Harris.
Yeah, because Chris Harris supposedly is ring chasing at this point in his career. I mean, maybe you could bring somebody like him in. He's a little long of tooth, but he's a specialty type guy. I mean, he could maybe
he played with the Saints. He played with the Saints last year, 10 games. He looked pretty good.
Right, and and maybe he could fill the Patrick Robinson role from like 2017. Because remember we brought Patrick Robinson in, he did a great job in the slot in the Super Bowl year.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They got to do something, dude. They got to do something because that's a huge loss. Our safeties are already not good. Our linebackers are not good. You know what? Believe it or not, though, I feel like our linebackers played pretty good against the Vikings, especially in the run game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought Zach Cunningham played pretty well. I mean, he we always talk about guys flashing. He flashed a few times. I noticed him on the.
But the problem, but he flashed in the run game. We got to see one of these linebackers. Like last year, Kaiser White and T.J. Edwards made a difference in the middle of the field. They broke up passes. They were quick to get to sideline to sideline. Like, don't see that in this linebacker crew. Even with Kobe Dean there.
Yeah. Hey, I got a comment here. Dave Yornell. He says, "Hey fellas, how's everyone doing tonight? We're doing pretty good, Dave. And I'll tell you what. Unfortunately for us as Eagles fans, we're not doing as good as your Cowboys are doing right now because tell you what, man, the Cowboys are looking really tough, and we're talking about guys that flash. And I got to, hey man, I got to keep it real, dude. Diego, I mean, I was saying this earlier today at work, like in my opinion, Micah Parsons is like the closest thing I've seen in football to Lawrence Taylor since I've been watching football.
Yeah, he's sick.
I'm not going there yet, but I'm pretty damn close. I mean, the guy just wrecks games, bro. I mean, he literally wrecked that game yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, he makes it look easy. He's a beast.
Yeah, Mike Lauro says Eli Ricks has to start.
So does Carson Strong.
I like that. Well, that kid Ricks did look good in the preseason, but I think Josh Jobe. I mean, he did get beat a few times, but I think, Jobe's probably clearly ahead of him on the depth chart right now. You know what I mean?
I'd say so. They're two undrafted guys out of the same exact school, so they probably felt like both these guys have the same kind of potential. You already have Jobe coached up one more year than Eli. I'm not saying Ricks can't be a nice corner because he did look great in preseason. He definitely deserved to make the team. Could he play slot corner or Kaylee Ringo?
I don't know. It's just that's my biggest fear going forward. Like, say we to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to have to either beat the 49ers or the Cowboys. Well, if we're trying to beat the 49ers, you got to try to cover, they line Deebo Samuel and Ayuk in the slot a lot of times.
Yeah.
The Cowboys put CeeDee Lamb in the slot a lot. Who the hell's going to cover them?
Yeah. Well, you see what the Cowboys did yesterday? They just put CeeDee Lamb in the slot. He went off for like 143 yards, like 11 catches. He only lined up on the outside and one-on-one against Sauce one time. Sauce had a pass defense breakup. So that could be the same approach that teams have against us. Why put CeeDee on the outside against Slayer Bradbury when I could just line him up against whoever inside and just eat him apart?
Yeah, I mean that is the concern. Here's another one of Mike Lauro's guys. Trey Sermon rushed his way right out of Philly. Yeah, that's true. I wonder if somebody may pick him up though. And Paul Spencer says, "What's up, family? He's at the field. Makeup game tonight for my 11 to 14 elites. My Gators versus the Eagles. I'm dropping 50 on these birds." All right, Paul. Yeah, thanks for checking us out, Paul. And you could check Paul out on the. Paul's a big Cowboys guy. He's on the We Dem Boys podcast on Wednesday nights, so you can get their perspective on their great start. And like I said, man, they're looking really tough. 49.
I know Cowboys are looking tough. Well, their competition hasn't been, I think, as good as ours in the first two games.
Right. Yeah.
So let's pump the brakes. You guys still got Dak Prescott, who's a mistake waiting to happen.
Yeah, this is a little scary. He says, just imagine when Cook comes back, CD would be inside in the slot a lot more. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about. And Diego, I mean, to play off your point, we do have to be careful because it's only 2 weeks into the season. You know what I mean? And, the bottom line is Dallas's defense does look elite, but they did play Daniel Jones and they play – and Zach Wilson is –
He's horrible. He's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not just him. The Jets' O-line sucks. Like, as good as Dallas's defense looks, I would like to see what they do against a legit quarterback with a decent offensive line. And we're probably talking, I still think their defense is good because Parsons, they have some great players on defense, but they're not shutting them down like they did. I mean, the Jets had no fucking chance, dude. It was like
100%. I mean, well, Jets ain't got no like Lane Johnson. Michael Parsons got shut down by Lane Johnson last year.
Right. Or a Mailata. Actually, shout out to Mailata.
Did you see that? The highest PFF grade of all time for alignment.
Yeah, and the highest one since like 2011. Now, you and I talk about this a lot. Like, we're not necessarily like PFF guys because I think
it's deceiving.
Right. No, numbers can be deceiving, but I mean, he obviously was doing something right because look at the Eagles had, the Eagles had 430 total yards of offense, 259 yards on the ground. I mean, you're kicking, you're mauling, you're straight up mauling motherfuckers when you be on that. You know what I mean? Like when you're running the ball like that, you're mauling people, bro.
Yeah, they dominated that line of scrimmage.
Hang on a second. We got Dave Yarnell here. Didn't the Jets just beat Buffalo last Monday night? Allen threw 3 picks against that Jets defense, just throwing it out there. Yeah, listen, Dave.
That Jets team, as soon as Aaron Rodgers goes out, they win a crazy emotional game in their first game. But what do you think them guys felt like after that game and all week? They knew their season's over. Jets are going to get blown out by a lot of teams now, not because of talent, because they know their season's over.
Yeah, and to Dave's point, I mean, we're not dissing the Cowboys. I mean, we both are saying that the Cowboys have an elite level defense, but Zach Wilson is trash. I mean,
let's be real. That wasn't impressive that they stopped him.
Even last week, Zach Wilson, like they won that game, but like let's analyze how they won. They won on a punt return. The Garrett Wilson touchdown catch was a great catch, and then for the life of me, I can't understand why they didn't give the ball to Breece Hall more. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Breece Hall took the ball like 4 times.
The Jets were pretty much in that game for the majority of the game.
Exactly. But yeah, anyway, yeah, like I said, and Mike Laura, hey Sean, what's up, bro?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, dude?
Sean.
Yeah, so we're just kind of talking about the Eagles, talking about the league. Mike Lauro says San Francisco looked normal again yesterday again versus the Rams. I agree.
I'll tell you who doesn't look normal, Christian McCaffrey.
He's a hell of a player, man.
He don't look normal. I think he's a tough dude to stop. Him and Debo are crazy players to stop. Debo's a running back and wide receiver, and Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league.
One thing is, how about those Bengals, man? Joe Burrow re-aggravated that calf injury, supposedly.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they're in some serious. Bengals are in some serious trouble because if Joe Burrow doesn't play next Monday, they're going to lose to the Rams, and we're looking at 0-3.
Yeah.
I don't have in front of me who they play the following week, but I know the Bengals have a pretty tough schedule and their division's pretty tough. So, the Bengals get to 0-3. I mean, they may not even make in the AFC. You're probably not even making a wild card. I mean, they're probably done.
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams in the AFC.
It's a tough division, man.
Yeah. Speaking of that game, what did you guys think of? I was impressed. Since we're going around the league, I was impressed with what Baltimore did yesterday. I thought
Lamar Jackson looked good.
Yeah, Lamar hit. You know who looked good? Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar caught a touchdown pass.
86 yards in a TD.
Yeah, they look good. Nelson Aguilar catches balls everywhere he plays.
But he can't catch kids.
He can't catch kids. I'm dead. Yeah.
It is funny because Nelson Aguilar was so good that Super Bowl year, then the rest of the time here he was mostly trash.
Yeah, but then he went to New England. He caught some balls there. Now he's catching balls in Baltimore. Like, he stays in the league.
He does. Yeah, you're right. It's crazy.
In the league, you're right. Consistency,
To get longevity in the NFL, I feel like it's really hard. Even if you're just like an average wide receiver, if you get 8, 9, 10 years out of a career, that's a really successful career in the NFL.
True.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, he was drafted in the first round in 2015. It's 2023. So the guy's in his 9th year?
Yeah, exactly. He's been in the league. That's what I'm saying. You make a living off being a wide receiver in the NFL, you're a pretty good player. 8, 9 years in the NFL.
This was a crazy play yesterday. Dave Yornell says, how about that Hail Mary from Russ last night against the Commanders? That was crazy.
That was lucky.
That was nuts. And then you talk about a terrible non-call. By the way, I don't want to bring Diego, we were talking about this earlier, but I don't want to cry about the Super Bowl, obviously, because James Bradbury did hold. But I saw 2 plays yesterday where the referee swallowed his whistle on the last play of the game. The one was the Detroit game, the Detroit-Seattle game. Aiden Hutchinson got the shit out of him on that touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett. The referee swallowed the whistle. Then after the Hail Mary play, that was like the most blatant pass interference like I've ever seen. It was almost like that dude from the Rams that beat the shit out of the Saints guy a few years ago.
That was worse than the Eagles one. That was worse than the Super Bowl play. And he swallowed that. And he swallowed that on a 2-point conversion. Not like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the refs. And I'll tell you what, man, the Commanders, that kid Sam Hale, he looks like he can play a little bit now.
It looks like he has a pretty good arm. He takes a lot of sacks. His decision making is not the best yet, but his arm is there. He made a really nice pass before the half to put him in field goal range. Then he made that really nice touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin.
I didn't see it, but Sam Howell's always been a reliable quarterback when he played college ball at North Carolina.
Yeah,
getting it to some wide receivers that are actually in the NFL. I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but just like you said, Diego, getting the ball where it needs to be. Just patience in the pocket. You don't have that, man, you're gonna have a short career. It's like headlights, So
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I'm shocked. 2-0. Who would have thought? And how about that Giants game?
I knew that was happening as soon as I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but I knew that was happening yesterday.
Yeah, because of the mush.
When the Giants were down like 28-7 or 20-0, and he's like, "My God, they're so horrible," and they immediately started coming back. It was just so funny.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Just don't keep your mouth closed when we're talking.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you another takeaway I had.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is a great talent, but that dude is like the least clutch player I think I've ever seen. I mean, they never win close games, bro. They don't. And I know everybody puts it on the coach, but I'm putting some of that on him because I watched some of that game. They had the ball. They were driving with like a minute left. They had the ball, first down. They bogged the drive down. Then but then they kick a field goal to go to overtime, right? Mm-hmm. Then they get the ball. They get the ball first in overtime. He goes like 3 and out. Like, come on, bro. Like you make a lot of money, bro, and you make a lot of money and you got a lot of weapons. Like, find a way to get it fucking done. I think he's overrated as fuck, dude.
I agree. Way overrated, Justin Herbert.
He's got all the talent around him. Like we said, we got Eckler. We have Quentin Johnson, the rookie, Michael Williams, Keenan Allen. I mean, it's time to step up, Like you said, regardless of 4th down or whatever the case may be. But, yeah, he needs to be more clutch.
Even that playoff game last year, everybody shitted on the coach, rightfully so. Everybody shitted on the defense, rightfully so. But my man, dude, you're up like 27 points. Like, I don't know, bro. Find a way to get a couple more first downs. Find a way to score another couple more points, dude.
Find a way
Sorry,
to
but
win.
you want to be a championship level fucking quarterback, dude. I can't absolve you. Like, kind of like it's funny. Like I texted Diego yesterday, and the kid from Green Bay, was it Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Jordan Love looked pretty good. He was like impressive most of that game. I got to put a little bit of that loss, the blame on that loss on him though, because in the fourth quarter they couldn't even get a first down, and then Atlanta came back and beat them. But bottom line is, dude, you play them. You play the most important position in football, and I can blame your defense. I can blame other, but it's up to you a lot of times to get a couple first downs and make those plays. If you don't do it, then you didn't come up big in the clutch.
Right. I mean, Jordan, you can excuse Jordan Love's, it's his first year really starting. You know what I mean? So you can't oppose to him being a rookie quarterback. But Herbert, you've been the starter. You've been in this league and you can't find ways to win close games still. That's a bad trait to have.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Dave Yarnell says Sam Howell is like 6'1". He can see over the line, and the kid can throw the ball. Yeah, Sam Howell looks pretty good, and he was clutch. So I'll give him that. But
he looks like Derek Carr. I mean, I feel like he's just going to end up being a quarterback like Derek Carr.
Who, Sam Howell?
Yeah. Like when I watch him play, that's like the level of talent I see from him. Like his ceiling isn't too high. I feel like what you see of Sam Howell now is probably what you get of Sam Howell.
But he also
just like Kirk Cousins. Ever since Kirk Cousins took over the starting job in Washington, he won games. You know what I mean? And he's always been that same quarterback, but he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. And that's what I see in Sam Howell. Very similar traits to Cousins and Carr and then middle of the pack QBs that are, they're nice. They can make plays. They're smart quarterbacks, but they're just not talented enough to beat these other talented quarterbacks in the NFL.
But he also has Eric Bieniemy, a pretty solid offense coordinator, and like we said before, the players around him, Yes.
Yeah, he's got good players, but we all know in this league, you can have good players everywhere. The Eagles had good players all over the field last year, and who ended up winning? Like Mahomes will find a way to beat any defense, you know what I'm saying, with any players like Tom Brady did. You see them traits in quarterbacks. Like Sam Howell's never going to go head to head with Mahomes and beat him.
Well, I'll bring up a classic example, another game that stuck out to me. Kansas City and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's defense holds Kansas City to 17 points. Now that's in Jacksonville. Now that's a game that you really needed Doug P. and Trevor Lawrence to step up and win that game. If your defense holds them to 17 points, you got to win that game. But to Diego's point, though, Mahomes didn't have the greatest game numbers-wise, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? Here's the difference in this league, and these are the things that Justin Herbert doesn't do. Third down, it was like 3rd and 7. Pat Mahomes rolled out a little bit, and guess what? He made a fucking play. He hit Sky Moore on a big first down.
Big play.
And that, you look at this league. I mean, every one of these games is separated by like a player or two, and it's the guys like Mahomes. And like the top quarterbacks that make these great plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you never see Kirk Cousins make big plays in big moments. Like where he's like, I got to slip this dude and slip this guy and get this extra second. Like Jalen Hurts did that last year. When things got tough, Jalen Hurts would extend the play an extra second. Jalen Hurts would give his guys an extra second to get open. You don't see these middle of the pack QBs doing that.
No, they don't. Hang on a second. This is a funny one here. Mike Mamaron says Jordan Love loves face full of ass. I guess I could try that quarterback sneak or something, right?
Yeah. All by himself. Yeah, he's the only guy that went.
What's that?
And went right into the offensive line's ass.
That's
I missed
pretty
a lot
funny,
of.
bro.
I was in the air coming home from Indiana.
Green Bay really screwed me on that. I had like an 18 parlay and everything hit but but Green Bay giving 1.5. And the thing is, they didn't just lose. They dominated that whole entire game. It was 24-12 with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Hey, you know what's funny? If you do get a face full ass, you might have a personal injury claim. And if you do get a face full ass, my man the call is Jason Fine, aka Attorney Big Al. He's got motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or personal injury. Well, I got to be honest with you guys, man. If Jordan Love gets a face full ass, I think he could get some compensation. What do you think?
Huh.
Yeah, I think so.
Compensation on that. All right, so call my man Attorney Big Al. He's got 3 offices, one in Philadelphia, one in Cherry Hill, one in Pittsburgh, PA. So make sure you give him a call if you have any legal problems. So, but yeah. Anyway, and I'm trying to think. I thought I saw there was somebody that got suspended. I think it was somebody on somebody on Denver. Like,
yeah, he left his feet. That was a dirty play. It was on Logan. It was on Logan Thomas. That was a really dirty. I forget the dude's name, but he left his feet. It led with his forearm right to the head. He deserved to get ejected.
Yeah, definitely. What about I don't know any yeah, I mean, there was some good game that and another game that stuck out to me because I got highlights on here. The Detroit Seattle games. Geno Smith really stepped it up. I thought he had a hell of a game.
I thought both quarterbacks in that game played good. I thought Jared Goff had a pretty decent game. I thought Geno Smith had a really good game.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Any other Eagles thoughts before we wrap up this NFL and move on to some Phillies? And then maybe we should get some predictions for tonight's games too. Any other NFL thoughts or Eagles thoughts?
Justin Fields sucks.
You need to run the football more, the Eagles. I mean, not them. I mean, the defense.
Run it more.
No, I forget what I said. I think they need to step up in linebacker. That's still a concern to me,
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Linebacker and safety. That's going to be a concern all year unless Howie makes a move. I think we can kind of see how talented we are at them positions, and it's not talented at all.
Yeah. But back to the running, it was what I saw Thursday night. I loved it. Just keep on feeding Swift. He's to me the RB1, So
yeah, one thing that's surprising to me is that people were actually saying that Justin Fields was better than Jalen Hurts. Like actual reporters and people were saying that. And Justin Fields just ain't it. Them Ohio State quarterbacks just ain't it. CJ Stroud ain't going to be it either.
No, I hear you. I got one too. It's this isn't a thought from yesterday because we already kind of went over most of our thoughts from yesterday. We were talking about Sam Howell and the Washington team.
Yeah.
The early line on Buffalo at Washington is Buffalo -7. I don't know if Washington's necessarily going to win that football game, but I like Washington getting 7 at home. There's something about Josh Allen on the road and Josh Allen at home sometimes are two totally different guys. I mean, I could see Josh Allen trying to play hero ball and throw in a couple big picks, and that Washington team has a good defense, and it would not shock me in the least bit if Washington even won that game, to be honest with you. That's kind of my takeaway. I think that game for Buffalo to be favored by 7, I guess that's like the chalk, but I like Washington getting 7 next week.
I kind of like Washington at 7 too, but Buffalo got going a little bit last game, like in that second half. They got going. So if that's the offense they're bringing to Washington, I could see it being close to that game. Like Washington could cover, or Buffalo could win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean it was the Raiders. I mean the Raiders won in Denver week 1, but then they to quote Dennis Green, they were who we thought they were yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sean? Any thoughts on that game?
I'm right there with you. I mean, Josh Allen needs to step up his play. He's been kind of up and down with the first game. Second game, he looked pretty good. But I think it's going to be a good head-to-head with Washington and Bills. I don't know who to get with that. Got to get back to you on that,
Here's a pretty surprising thing, I think, after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Carter's number 3 in the league in pressures.
Mhm.
That's pretty impressive by a rookie who only plays 50% of the snaps. We have to expect him to be at like 70% of the snaps by the end of the year. And him, defensive player of the year, he could arguably be one of the best defensive players in the league, not just rookie.
Absolutely.
He definitely sticks out, man. And
Jordan Davis had a pretty good game.
Yes, I think
Jordan Davis, he stuck out in that game. I seen he sticks out. He's huge, but when you see a guy get into the backfield that quick and that size, that shit sticks out.
Do you know why they're sticking out and playing? They played like plain simple. They all played at Georgia. I think like all three of us said they feed off of one another. Like they want to see who can outperform each other, and it's going to keep on going throughout the season. But Jalen Carter, his technique, his first step, it's going to be hell for a lot of offensive linemen.
Not just that, Jalen Carter's 3rd in pressures. Sweat is 4th in pressures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I said to Joey, I see Jerome Brown 2.0 in Jalen Carter, and I'm going to stick with it. It's just
my point with saying Sweat's 4th. A lot of Sweat's pressures probably come because the attention you have to put to the middle of that line to try to stop Jalen Carter. Like Jalen Carter is the kind of player. The reason I feel like that's like probably the best pick in this draft is because of the impact he makes on other players. If he takes 3 guys, you know what that's going to do to all the other players that get to play around him on that line? We're going to have a good ass line for so many years.
Like I said before, it's pick your poison with the front line. It's a revolving door. You got Milton Williams, Fletcher Cox, Sweat, like you said.
Milton Williams, the only reason Jalen Carter's only getting 50% of the snaps is because Milton Williams, when he plays, he proves he can play the other 50% of them snaps.
He's always, and that's awesome because he is reliable. You can have faith in him to do what he has to do, and you're right. I mean,
see, I don't want to see the defensive line go to waste by how horrible the middle of our field is. Because our defensive line can be great all game. But if, like what happened against Minnesota, they got shut down for 4 or 5 drives, Minnesota scored 4 touchdowns.
Uh-huh.
Because of how easy, if we could just stop their rush for a couple drives, it's so easy to go down the field on them.
True.
I know.
Now,
that defensive line, that's a good thing. We can keep it fresh. But teams will just go in mass protection, put all their guys in one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? Run a tight end over the middle, and then just eat us up little by little. Like, imagine Travis Kelce against the middle of this field. KC's going to have possession for 2/3 of the game. They're going to score every drive. We got to do something about the middle of this field, I think, or that's probably going to be the reason this team can't go all the way this year.
Before we change subjects, would you guys take a look at Anthony Barr, who's still a free agent linebacker?
The guy that used to play for Minnesota? I mean, I would. It wouldn't hurt, but
Dallas, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't
he's
hurt.
A free agent for some reason, though. Like, all these guys we're going to find in the street, besides maybe the dude Chris Harris, who played some meaningful football last year, was actually decent. They're just going to be just that. They're going to be off the street guys. If we want to address the middle of the field, Howie's going to have to address the middle of the field, whether that's giving up assets, giving up draft picks to these bad teams in week 6, 7 before the deadline. But it's going to have to be addressed. If not, let's be real. Good teams with good offensive lines that can find a way to stop our defensive line from being so destructive, they're going to eat us up.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man, before we move on to the Phillies, all this talk about our D-line. Well, our D-line hits extremely hard. And if you do get your ass kicked, you might need some smelling salts, but you also might want some coffee. The best coffee out there is Monkey Colt Coffee. You could order it, promo code OOTBS Sports at monkeycoltcoffee.com. And we're going to about to start talking some Phillies wildcard race. Well, one of our new sponsors, you can get the Ultimate Game Day mug, a mug for any baseball fan. You could use the promo code OOTBS Sports20 at dugoutmugs.com. Here's hoping that the Phillies go on this wild card run and maybe we can get a 2023 World Series champions. What do you guys think? That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you check out all the shows on this network here. There's something here for everybody. As you can see, there's even a video game show on Mondays. You got if you're Giant, basically the whole NFC East. I mean, I was on last week. We have an NFC East trash talk, and the old school is on once a month. We're actually taking September off because I was going to do one in September, but Paul and I just talked, and we are going to do, I believe it's right around October 8th. Well, October 8th, the 49ers and the Cowboys play. And we're going to do an old school in the 90s Cowboys, in particular, their rivalry with the 49ers. And what a perfect time to do it then when the modern day Niners and the modern day Cowboys play in a huge game. So we're going to do the old school, probably the first week of October, the old school will be back. So really, really looking forward to that one here. But anyway, yeah, so the Phillies, hang on, I got one more here. Touching on the Phillies and touching on the Eagles, if you're trying to do a sports trip, the best guy around is Vince Rizzuto from Philly Sports Trips. Right here, they had the Tampa game, obviously, is next Monday night, but he's got trips for all the road games, and they do a great tailgate live casino. Wait, what's it called down there? Is it
live casino? They do a tailgate at live casino every home game.
Okay.
You go over there, they got great food, great drinks, everything. Everything's really good over there. It's the best tailgate in the city. So, I mean, if you're looking somewhere to party during the home games, go down and see Philly Sports Trips. And if you're looking for somewhere to party on the road, go down and see Philly Sports Trips. They do it good.
Yeah, throw that John down. And one thing we like to do in Philly, man, we like our sports and we like to party. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot.
We like our sports and like our booze.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's what I like, man. I want to check that out. So, all right, well, hopefully the Phillies will be popping some champagne in the locker rooms, clinching that first wild card seed in the next, I want to say maybe week or so. 4 up in the loss column for the number 1 seed. 3 big games with the Braves. Now the Braves clinched everything. Braves clinched everything as far as the division. Now I think the Braves are like 4 up for the best record over the Dodgers. So they still have something to play for. But what's your guys' thoughts? This next week, we got 3 with Atlanta, 4 with the Mets. What do you think our record's going to be this week? And are we gonna hold off and get this number 1 seed?
I think this is the week that we get that ground where it's like, all right, we're locked into the 1. I think Atlanta's still happy from clinching against us a couple days ago or whatever that was, last week. So I think we can get 2 out of them down in Atlanta. That'd be nice. And then we'll get other 2, maybe split with the Mets, maybe 3. So 4 or 5 wins this week.
Okay, well, 5. Yeah. If they get 5, I'll be feeling pretty good because that would mean for us to lose. That would mean that either Arizona or one of these teams would have to go 7-0 to pick up 2 games. Right. You know what I mean? Because we're 4 up, and if they could get 5, then best case scenario I see those teams doing is probably 5, and then we're still 4 up with a week to go. I think we're looking pretty good there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's best case scenario.
Yeah, as long as we don't have a 1964 Phillies collapse or a 2007 Mets collapse, you know what I mean? I mean, hey, we don't need that. I still remember how great that was looking at the New York Post when they showed Jimmy Rollins' picture with the big smile, like it's basically saying, "I told you so, told you all."
Remember that?
That was one of the best. That was one of the best headlines I can remember seeing in a paper. Man, it was so awesome. You know. But
what's concerned? Phillies are concerning us a little bit, I think.
Well, they've kind of strong. I mean, Atlanta, they lost what? What did we lose? Two. We lost 2 or 3 to Atlanta here. And then we won 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. I mean, you know who's kind of concerning me a little bit is Taijuan Walker. He seems to be leaking some oil.
Our pitching's really weak. Like Zach Wheeler got shelled his last outing for like 6 runs. Taijuan Walker don't look great. Ranger Suarez looks all right. His last 3 outings have been nice. The dude Sanchez is pitching good. He's been pitching pretty solid all year. And we all know Aaron Nola sucks.
Well, I have Aaron Nola stepping up against the Braves, really, which is going to shock a lot of people. You know, bullpen to me, I think, like I said to Joey, is kind of concerning because you don't know what to expect from Velotti.
Sir Anthony's horrible.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, exactly. Well, he's not horrible. He's having a rough outing.
Every outing.
You know, I mean, like last year to this year, it's shitty.
Alvarado. See, this is the difference between last year and this year. We knew we had good bats last year, and they came alive towards the end of the year. Yeah. And our pitching, actually, every time out, the Sixers are expected to sign Kelly Oubre Jr.
Oh, we are? Would that just came out?
I just got the ESPN notification. The Kelly Oubre Jr. expected to sign a 1-year deal with the 76ers. He averaged 20 points per game last year and 5 rebounds per game for the Hornets last year. I love that, dude. He can play wing. He can really play. And you've been calling for that shit, Joe.
Yeah. I was going to say, I called for Kelly Oubre around the trade deadline last year because Kelly Oubre, the one thing about him, he's kind of a black hole. He doesn't pass the ball much, but he can score for you a little bit. So maybe he could at least be a piece and get you some buckets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I like that signing a lot. That actually makes me pretty happy there.
Yeah, it does. It's just unfortunately with the Sixers, there's just such a dark cloud because we have no
James Harden.
What's asshole? I hate you. I'll tell you, man. I hate James Harden. Dude.
I hate him. Yeah, because if you had Kelly Oubre on this team last year, I think that's a big piece with a happy James Harden. You know what I'm saying? And Embiid, I think that would have made us better. But if Harden's not happy and he's not playing, then what's the next step? It don't mean shit. Exactly right.
That's unreal, man. You know, no, it's funny. I mean, not to say like Kelly Oubre is like the be all and end all, but if you did have a guy like him, maybe you don't blow that 5-point lead in Game 6 and you win 4-2. You know,
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the guy we needed last year. Now we have an unhappy James Harden. I don't even know. Like I said, it excited me at first, but then when you think about our situation, don't mean shit because Kelly Oubre doesn't replace James Harden.
Well, you know, in the new collective bargaining agreement, I mean, James Harden, you know, I mean, he kind of has to play. I mean, I know he might be unhappy, but he's kind of got to play. I mean, his hands are kind of tied. So, like, what happens? Does he come here and play, or you think he just fakes an injury? But even so, though, I mean, if he does that, like, I don't know, dude, who the hell's going to pay him? Like, I mean, if you're,
I don't know if he with that collective bargaining and Adam Silver cracking down on like people resting for no reason and shit. Now they're going to get fined if they're doing the load management.
Right.
So I don't think James Harden can just fake an injury anymore. Like Sixers medical staff would just be like, he ain't got a messed up hamstring. We ran the X-rays. We did all that.
So, I mean, do you think it's possible not to sit here and sing Kumbaya or anything, but do you think it's possible, like, even though it looks really bleak now, that maybe when the time comes and they play hardball with them because they're not getting any offers and they're like, look, James, like, we know you don't want to be here, bro, but like the bottom line is like you're still making $30-some million this year, and if you want to get another contract, like, you know, like maybe somebody gets to him and says, dude, like, you know, I know you're not happy, but bro, you kind of need to ball out because nobody's going to pay you next year. I mean, Christ, the guy's going to be 35 years old next year. Who the hell's going to want to put up with that bullshit?
Nobody, unless it's for cheap.
Yeah. He's in the world, man. He needs to just play, but who knows what he's going to do.
I'll take Kelly Oubre out.
I'm back.
Yeah. Championship. Write that article, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm back, man. I'm back. Here's a comment here. Michael Papernick Jr. says for $35 million, his ass needs to play. Yeah,
that's true. That's true, 100%.
True.
I hear you, man. And you know, speaking of basketball, I'm kind of disappointed that Winning Time's over. I love that show. I can't believe unfortunately, I guess not enough people loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, I never checked it out, so I don't know if it was good or not.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a little before. I mean, it was a little before. See, I mean, I remember that rivalry. That was when I first started watching basketball. So you know what I mean.
Right.
So for me, I remember it. Like for you, I understand why you maybe weren't into it because you didn't watch late '80s basketball. You know what I mean? Like so.
No, I wasn't even born.
Yeah, exactly. But
and it was trash.
Nah, that was good basketball back then.
Just kidding. I just busted your balls.
I know. Yeah, we need to bring out that debate show, yo. And do
we gotta do it.
86 Celtics and then like 87 Lakers versus like fucking modern day Warriors. Like who's winning that, John? You know?
Yeah. That's a good debate. That's always a good debate.
Oh, absolutely.
Hang on, I got another comment here. Michael Papernick Jr. says Harden opted in not just to help the Sixers by trading him. He opted in because no other team was going to pay what he wanted. I agree with that because if there was
100%,
he wouldn't have opted in.
No, he opted in because he knows he wasn't going to get that money. And honestly, he does have to play. He has to show up and play because if you want to get paid, then you better show you can still play. If you just look like a bum out there, you're not giving any other team the initiative to give you any kind of money.
Just like they say, pay to play. And, put your big boy pants on and play. You ain't getting no free handout. That's the thing with him, man. He just wants everything given to him.
Yeah.
Pitch in and play the game,
Yeah, speaking of that, we'll get into the Sixers a lot more in the coming weeks. Isn't NBA training camp opening up in a couple weeks? I mean, we're pretty close, right? Season's only like a little over a month away.
Yes.
Yeah, season starts what, October 30th?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Might even be the 20-something. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I normally know that date. I feel a little bad because well, I don't feel bad, but I mean, normally I know that date. I'm looking forward to it. I've been so out on the Sixers just with all this bullshit that I don't even know. You know what I mean? I just
right.
know,
I agree.
Crying that pillow you back behind you.
I've been pretty out on the Sixers since that season ended.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, before we wrap up here, let's do our Philly. I know you said you were hoping for a 5-2. Let's do our Phillies predictions for the week, and then I want to do these 2 Monday night games too. So, Philly, Diego, you said 5-2.
Yeah, I'm going 5-2.
Wow, that's all right. You're putting them on the table. Sean, what do you think?
I'm putting them on the table too. Blow, 5-2.
Damn, man, you guys got some brass ones. You guys got boulders. You know what? I'll tell you what, man. I kind of feel like a whim. I got the way the Phillies play in September, man. I got pebbles in my pants, bro. I'm going 4-3, and I still think we're going to get the number 1 wild card seed, but I think we're going to have to sweat it out another week. I'm seeing a 4-3. I'm seeing a losing 2-3 to Atlanta, and I'm seeing the Mets. Here we go, Michael Papernick. Yeah, see, he's got pebbles too. He says 4-3. So you guys you guys are wielding boulders, and we're a little nervous. You know what I mean? We got the George Costanza and the pool theory going on. Huh?
Do a little something for Charlie Manuel, man. You know what I mean? Thinking of him, due to what happened. But yeah, big balls, me and Diego, 5-2. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. No problem. Oh,
Get your little balls out of here, Joe.
Yeah, prayers up to Charlie Manuel. Yeah, that's right. I saw that this weekend. Yeah, hopefully it all pans out for him.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
pretty critical.
Charlie be all right.
Yeah, so
Best manager we ever had, if you really think about it. I mean, that was the
Definitely. He won us the
longest.
World Series.
I mean, other than the late 70s to early 80s, that was the best. That was the best run of success that we've ever had here.
absolutely.
Definitely.
So, all right, and then how about wait, hang on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Got one more comment here. Michael Papernick Jr. says the Phillies need Uncle Charlie and Boot Topper.
Yeah, Topper.
I
sucks.
agree. I'm not the biggest Topper fan either. He tinkers too much.
Yeah, I don't like that. He messes with the lineup way too much.
Yeah, there you go, Mike.
They won in spite of him last year, not because of him. The change made the players happy, so they played better.
That's one thing I liked about Charlie Manuel. He went with his gut a lot more. Like, I feel like these guys, like these guys are too tied into like, oh, he's left-handed, oh, he's right.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. No feeling.
Screw the analytical bullshit. Like I've
The
always
analytics are good, dude. I mean, think about it. It's a computer taking in every single piece of information, but that computer could still be wrong, and that's where your gut feeling comes in. You know, when you think it's wrong and you beat that system, when your analytics top that the analytics, you know.
I'd rather go with my gut. I'm just like that, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I agree. All right, and then how about these two football games? We got New Orleans at Carolina. What was the line? I think New Orleans is favored by 3. I think last I saw.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Saints.
You like the Saints? Okay.
The young quarterback. Saints usually got a pretty good defensive line. You know what I mean? They'll probably get to the young quarterback a little bit, startle him. Yeah, I see the Saints winning the game, probably covering the 3 or being right around 3.
Saints.
All right, Saints. All right, I'm going Carolina in an upset. I think Carolina wins outright.
Okay.
All right, and then Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Last I saw, I think Cleveland was 2. I think it was
2.
Depends on where you look. Either 2 or 2.5. What are you guys thinking on that?
I like the Browns.
Yeah. I see Chubb having a big night. Amari Cooper isn't out for the game. He is playing.
Okay.
Yeah. So Cleveland.
Yeah, I like Cleveland.
All right. I like Pittsburgh in that. Michael Papernick Jr. likes the Saints and Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. I don't believe in Cleveland. I don't see the Cleveland going 2-0, and I don't see the Steelers losing both games at home. So so I'm going Pittsburgh. So
yeah, both these games are close. Division games, second week. I mean, I don't know what the Steelers have in Kenny Pickett. I really don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett stinks.
yeah, Steelers do have a lot of injuries too. Deontay
Johnson.
out.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward's out. So they got some
Saquon
guys
Barkley
banged
got
up.
hurt yesterday. Giants are going to be without Saquon Barkley for like 3 weeks.
They're going to get their. I'll tell you what. It's a good thing for them they came back yesterday because I think they're going to get their ass kicked at San Francisco on Thursday night.
I agree 100%. They get their ass beat.
So, all right. Well, look, we're going to get ready to wrap up here. Go Phillies. The next week when we're on here, we will have will be an Eagles pregame show. So hopefully, you know what, we might start a little earlier. I think.
Yeah, it'll be a quick show. We got to get ready for the game.
Yeah, I was going to say because I'm going out for that, John. So
yeah, we'll do a little quick half-hour, 45-minute recap call today. Maybe start 5:45, guys.
All right, so go Birds, go Phillies, and we'll see you all next week.
Birds.